sorry.
Okay. All right. First off, it's nice to be here at St. Pete Beach. Anytime you come to Florida, you see a beach like this, you should be happy. Being in DC, what you learn very quickly is how enjoyable Florida is. As soon as your plane starts to land and you see all these beaches in this warm weather and the sun, it makes you happy. So there's a lot of wonderful people here. As you know, to deal with hurricanes is a team event. The federal government's got to do their job, states got to do their job, the cities and counties have to do their job, and then you have to do your job. And it starts with the people who live in Florida. You have to do your job to stay safe. I just want to recognize a few people I get to work with. Laura Lee is here. She does a great job. I had the opportunity to appoint her as a judge when I was governor, and she did a great job of that, and she's a great congresswoman. Next, Kathleen Peters here, the chair of the county commission. Kathleen is somebody. Did you get elected in 10 also at the state level? 12. So we worked together the entire time I was governor, and she was great to work with. So I want to recognize her. And Pauline is here. Thank you for being here. Then we've got Mayor Adrian Petrella here, Mayor Sandra Bradbury here, and I think Leslie Waters is going to be here. I haven't seen her yet. Nick is here. He's if anything's going wrong in the state now, we have to blame it on Nick because he's been there. How long have you been there now? Have complete responsibility,
6 years
right?
in the legislature.
Yeah, see, completely responsible.
Yes, everything is my fault.
Chris Latval is here. We worked together right at the tail end, right?
Sure.
The last 2, I think.
years.
Yeah, was it last 4 years?
Yes,
Yeah. So we got to work together. Bernie Jacques, thank you for being here. Adam Anderson, I want to thank him for being here. We've got Clearwater Councilman Ryan Cotton here. The Port of Tampa Bay, we spent a lot of your tax dollars at Port of Tampa Bay. If you want to not make sure you don't run out of fuel, make sure the Port of Tampa Bay works. In Irma, everybody thought we were going to run out of fuel. Thanks to the Port Everglades, thanks to Port of Tampa Bay, they got the fuel in quickly. Everybody had to work. The Coast Guard, the Corps of Engineers, the Navy, the port, everybody had to work fast to get the ports reopened because we would have run out of fuel. And the Port of Tampa Bay did a great job. Let's see, we've got with the Sheriff's Office, we've got Lieutenant Jason Smittendorf here. If you think about the most important thing to all of us is our safety. So our sheriffs, our police departments, they do an unbelievable job keeping us safe. Nobody wants to build a business in a bad area. And by the way, if you want to know what's going on with regard to the after a hurricane, sheriff's office, police departments know everything because they're getting all the calls. So I always told all the utilities, all the communications firms, if you want to get something done, you've got to have built a relationship with the sheriff's office, and you should do it before, and with the police department before the hurricane, not afterwards. I think Robin Miller is going to be here. We work hard with our chambers and with Visit Florida and with Visit Tampa Bay and all these areas to make sure we get people back to our areas, because often what happens is we had an area that got hit when I was governor in this area of the state, and everybody thinks all of our beaches are shut down. That's not true. And so we had to put a lot of effort in to get people back here because it creates a lot of jobs. So it is hurricane season starting June 1. That means each one of you have to get prepared. There's a state website, the federal one, it's ready.gov. You can go on there and it tells you exactly what to do to create a plan. You need to have an evacuation plan. You need to make sure your family knows where you are. You need to make sure your family has an evacuation plan. So you need to make a decision. Listen to local news, listen to local officials when you need to evacuate. The best thing is don't take a chance. You look at the hurricane that hit my part of the state, Ian, 2 years ago. Everybody thought that was going to hit Tampa. It hit Naples, Florida, and actually hit where I live. So no one anticipated that until the last few hours, and often people waited too long. So if you have the opportunity to evacuate, take that opportunity and be safe. You don't want anybody in your family hurt. Think about it. You can always rebuild your house, rebuild a business. We love all of our houses, we love our business, all that stuff. But guess what? The most important thing is you can't rebuild is your life. I was just up at Mexico Beach earlier today, and that storm, Michael, started on a Sunday morning. Was a tropical storm. I think it hit during the day on Wednesday as a Category 5 and had over 9 foot of storm surge, and we lost a lot of people there. I went there, tried to get people to evacuate, because what they did is they said, oh, it's only a Category 1, oh, it's only a Category 2, we've seen that. Well, guess what? A Category 1 with 9 foot storm surge is going to kill you. You are not going to survive it. You've got to take this stuff seriously. Listen to local weather. They get great information from the National Hurricane Center, National Weather Service. Listen to them, and they'll do everything to keep you safe. So there's a whole list of things, but think about it. You're going to lose electricity most likely. You might lose your cell phone service. So what do you need? 7 days of water, 7 days of food. You need to have batteries, you need to have radio, you need to have first aid kit, you need to think about everything you might need, medicine, documents, all that stuff. There's a whole list on these websites. You need to get up to speed. Do not take a chance. Everybody, every first responder is going to do everything under their sun to keep you alive. But guess what? They can't keep you alive if you're foolish enough to stick around in harm's way. They're not going to be able to take care of you when there's 40 mile an hour winds. When the water's coming up, there's no emergency vehicles that are going to save you. The state's done a great job. You have 2 sales tax holidays. Thank you, Nick. June 1 to June 14th. So inflation's up, but at least you don't have to pay your sales tax if you buy your stuff June 1 to June 14th or August 24 to September 6th. This area of the state got hit by, and then north of here got hit by Dahlia. There's a lot of damage here. It's a lot of work to get this done. I'm going to do my part, do everything I can to make sure FEMA is fully funded, does their part, make sure that Corps of Engineers does their job, Navy, Coast Guard, all of them do their job. I want to thank Matt Loader, Krabby Bill's Seafood, for hosting us here. I hope everybody spends all their money here and keeps the tourist economy going. So with that, let me turn it over to Anna Polino. You're next.
Thank you, Senator Scott, as well as my colleague, Representative Lee, and every single local elected official for being here today. Just to follow up on what Senator Scott had said, to put in perspective, actually, even just last year alone when Hurricane Idalia came through, we had more than 1,500 homes locally that were flooded, and that storm was actually 100 miles off the coast. I remember a couple years ago, I went down to see the damage with Hurricane Ian, and as most of you know, especially in Pinellas County with the amount of historical homes, do not take a chance. Know your flood zone and move your family out of the way if harm's way does come. We want to make sure that everyone's okay, especially our families. You can find more information at pinellas.gov. All of those updates will be being disseminated there. And then always please ensure that you can count on my office to disseminate information accordingly. I know we have a lot of people waiting to talk, so I won't keep you guys out here. It's a little bit hot today. But if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to our office. Thank you.
Thanks, Senator. Laura Lee.
Well, thank you, Senator Scott, and all of you for being here today. It's a privilege to be here with you, my colleague, Congresswoman Luna, and so many state and local elected officials. Senator Scott led our state while he was governor through a number of very serious hurricanes and storms. And each time he ensured that Floridians had the information they needed to have a plan, to know what to do, to know where they could evacuate and how to get to safety. So he has been a leader on this issue for our state in many years, and it's a privilege for us to now get to work with him as members of Congress. So we are working together to ensure that our communities have the resources that they need, that they have evacuation zones, that we're working on resiliency, and that we're working with FEMA to make sure that FEMA is here for Floridians who need help in the aftermath of a storm. So with hurricane season officially starting, it is so important that all of us take this time now to work together, to develop a plan, to know what to do, to have the emergency supplies that you need. Our tax-free holiday is coming up soon to give families the opportunity to do exactly that. So the time to prepare and the time to be ready is before that storm strikes. So we're all here together today to try to deliver that message to Floridians and to try to make sure that we're doing everything we can to get you the resources and the information that you need to be prepared. I encourage you all, as always, to listen to your local officials, your local law enforcement officers, as they give you guidance and advice as we face whatever hazardous weather conditions may be coming for us this season. We know that Floridians are resilient. We know that our state is resilient, that we all come together in times of need. But when and if disaster strikes, my office is here for you. The local member of Congress who represents your area is here for you, and we want to make sure that you know that in your time of need that we are here to help you. Our purpose is that we want to make sure that all Floridians are safe and that we're all working together to help us prepare, to help us stay safe, and if necessary, to help us rebuild. With that, thank you again, Senator Scott, for having us here.
So one thing that both Anna and Laura will tell you so if you have any issues with any of the federal agencies, including FEMA, Corps of Engineers, any of them, all of our offices work together, and we will reach out to them to make sure it happens. So next we're going to hear from my friend Kathleen Peters.
Thank you. It's great to be here, and thank you for the invitation, and I love that you came to Pinellas County. It's so great to see the senator again. And before I say anything about hurricane, what I want to say first is thank you to Senator Scott and his staff for all the work they're doing with Army Corps to try and get our beaches renourished. Your staff have worked tirelessly. They're working very, very hard. We're not there yet, for those of you that are wondering. So as we prepare for hurricane season, and if you live on the barrier islands and any of the beaches like Bel Air or Sunset Beach or Indian Rocks Beach where we have not been able to do the nourishment, please, please, please take this time to be very serious. And Anna Paulina Luna has been also working on this. Sorry I omitted you, but they've been working really hard in Congress. And like I said, we're not there yet, but I feel like we might be getting close.
If they would just be consistent,
Yes.
it would be easier.
Yes,
Or do their job, right?
it's-
Want them to do their job.
yes.
With
I'm
our,
not gonna.
with our tax dollars.
Yes. So, so please, if you live on the barrier islands, take it seriously, because we don't have the sand on the shoreline to protect the property and the infrastructure at this time. It's very important that you make a plan. You've heard that already. You can go to pinellas.gov to learn about how you can create a plan, what you need to be successful with the plan. And it's not only in English, it's in Spanish and Vietnamese as well. So I strongly encourage you to go to our website and get that information, and please take this seriously. We had a couple of winter storms that we did not expect flooding, and we certainly got a lot of flooding. So please take it seriously and make a plan. Thank you, and thank you again for coming. Great to see you.
Yeah, so I was governor long enough that I got to go to the same places to see the flooding. So there's just different parts of the state that just flood. So we got to keep. It always seems like it's often the poorest families. Next, we're going to hear from Chris Latvala, the Commissioner of Pinellas County. Chris.
Thank you very much, Senator. And I just wanted to echo what my colleague, Commissioner Peters, said about the work that you're doing on behalf of Pinellas County when it comes to beach nourishment with the Army Corps of Engineers. And I also wanted to thank our wonderful Congresswoman, Anna Paulina Luna, and her great office for the work that they're doing on behalf of all of Pinellas County residents as we are waging this battle with the Army Corps of Engineers. And we are not alone in that fight. There are 11 counties in Florida that are facing the same plight as us. But thank you all very much for being here to highlight hurricane season that is coming up. And I just wanted to urge our residents to start getting prepared now, get your plan of action prepared, and all the items on your list. As the Senator said, the first tax holiday for hurricane supplies starts on June 1st, and it runs through June 14th. And then there's another one later on in hurricane season. We've been fortunate in Pinellas County to not have a direct hit, but it does not take a direct hit to have a lot of damage in our county like we've seen just last year, but also with Hurricane Irma and other storms. So our residents need to start preparing now and not wait for a storm to enter the Gulf. But thank you all very much.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Anna, you want to say something?
Yeah, sorry. The one thing I forgot to mention is we actually do have a ton of new residents, much to our happy surprise. But as a result of that, for those of you who might not know, for insurance reasons, please ensure that you're recording before any storms occur, any items that you have in your home. And then that way, God forbid something happens, you actually can have that as an insurance claim. So that was just a helpful tip that we have. And obviously, you should probably make note of. Thank you.
In a plastic bag would be nice. Yeah, if everybody has a lot of baggies, put everything in a baggie so it doesn't get wet.
Thank you, Senator Scott, and our local partners here for the opportunity to get the word out about preparedness as the season starts Saturday. As hurricane season approaches, it's crucial that we prepare ourselves and our communities for the challenges that lie ahead. Hurricanes are powerful, unpredictable, but with proper preparation, we can mitigate their impact and ensure the safety of our loved ones. First and foremost, stay informed. Monitor weather updates regularly through reliable sources. Understand the different hurricane categories and what they mean for your area. Knowledge is our first line of defense. Next, create an emergency plan. Discuss with your family or household members where you will go in case of an evacuation. Designate a safe meeting place and ensure everyone knows the route. Plan for your pets as well. Prepare an emergency kit. This should include essentials such as water, non-perishable food, medications, important documents, flashlights, batteries, and first aid supplies. Aim to have enough supplies to last at least 3 days. Secure your home, clear your yard of debris that could become projectiles in strong winds, install storm shutters or board up windows, reinforce your garage door, make sure insurance policies are up to date and understand what they cover. Stay connected. Have a list of emergency contacts, including local authorities, medical facilities, and shelters. Make sure your phone is charged and have a backup power source. Check in with neighbors, especially those who are elderly or disabled. Finally, heed all warnings and orders from local officials. If an evacuation order is given, leave immediately. I echo what the senator said here. Your safety is priority, and no material possession is worth risking your life. By taking these steps, we can face hurricane season with confidence, knowing we've done everything possible to protect ourselves and our communities. Let's commit to being prepared and staying safe.
Thanks, Jason. Okay, Mayor Petrilla. Okay, now we're going to hear from Nick. You can thank him for the tax holiday. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Senator. I want to thank you for being here in Pinellas County. As we all know, Pinellas County is a peninsula on a peninsula. It's one of the most, if not the most vulnerable regions of our state when it comes to any type of storm. Our residents certainly felt that impact when the hurricane, was 100 miles offshore. We had significant flooding in areas in the Shore Acres area of St. Petersburg. And I will echo the sentiments that were laid out here today. Have your plan in place now. Make sure you know if you're in an evacuation zone, what zone you're in. All of that information is easily accessible. Like the Congresswoman said, there's a lot of new residents here in the state of Florida, here in Pinellas County, that have never been through an evacuation order before. And when local officials grant those orders and order us to leave, it is because they're trying to save life and property. It's important for all residents of Pinellas County to heed those orders. And as far as the state response goes, I can tell you that state officials and local officials work night and day, 24/7 during a storm event. But at the end of the day, we're asking you to listen to those local officials. After the storm passes by, the state officials will then be fully engaged in that recovery effort, along with our partners at the federal level. So this is a time to prepare. This is a time to get yourself organized, get your supplies ready. We've got these sales tax incentives to go out beginning on June 1st and get those hurricane supplies ready for a 6-month hurricane season. Thank you so much, and thank you for being here, Senator.
Thanks, Nick. Now, Bernie.
Thank you, Senator, for coming to Pinellas County, and thank you for your commitment when it comes to preparation for hurricanes. I recall your time during your governorship that whenever the Navy hat came on, we knew, we knew he meant business, and we knew we were in good hands as well. And so his commitment has been unwavering, and we truly do appreciate it. As far as the state is concerned, it's been mentioned that we did pass the tax holiday when it comes to preparation items for hurricanes. That will start on June 1st. And so that's something we'll continue to do as a legislature, continue to fight for that day in and day out to make sure that we can have some ease when it comes to your pocketbook to be prepared. So it's not breaking the bank to do the right thing to prepare yourself and your family. It's been over 100 years since Tampa Bay has had a direct hit from a major hurricane. But that's no reason to be complacent. And in fact, and I'm going to knock on wood, at some point, that luck is going to run out. And when you have a situation where we're on a peninsula, like Senator DeSigley mentioned, you can imagine how much of a disaster that will be if that were to occur. And so it's never too early to keep that in mind and to be very prepared. And even if there isn't a major event, we know there are areas in Pinellas County that are very prone to flooding, not too far from here, Madeira Beach, Shore Acres, just tropical storms. And so it's no time to let your guard down when it comes to hurricane preparation. And I love that Senator Scott always says this. A lot of things can be replaced. You can replace a home, you can replace a business, but you cannot be replaced, and your loved ones cannot be replaced. So please be prepared. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your hard work getting the tax holiday. The tax holiday is a big deal. This is not every state does this. So what your state legislature did to make sure you have a sales tax holiday is a big deal. So here's the bottom line. Go to ready.gov or go to the state or the county, one of the websites, and get the list. That's number one. Number two is do it. Don't just make the list, get the stuff. You know, you have to be prepared. Number three, watch local news, watch what they're telling you. All right. Number four, take action. Everybody up here is going to work their butt off to keep you alive. All right, but you got to do your part. So I hope everybody takes this seriously. I hope we don't have a bad hurricane season. I hope we have no hurricanes. Nothing comes on land. Nothing gets close to land. But the odds are somewhere in our state we're going to have a landfall. So my goal is with everybody up here is to get ready. We have a great state team. We have a great county team. We have a great sheriff's department, police departments, fire departments. Everybody wants you to stay alive, but you got to do your part. So thanks everybody for being here, and hope everybody has a healthy hurricane season. Bye-bye. Okay. Thanks.
Good to see you. Yes, ma'am. So far, so good. Senator.
And thank you for the shout out. That's like hopefully eventually word it.
I was just up in your office last week.
Oh, that's
meeting with your team. So they did a great job.
Okay. Nick, let me give you. I think I have it.
Yeah.
Cutting off ankle monitors. I keep the sheriff's department. So, how are you doing? Thanks for coming over.
Thank you for having
Nice to see you. Yeah, nice to see you guys. Forward to Tampa Bay. I love you guys. So, okay, I'm gonna get my baby now, but we'll see you guys soon. Take care. Thank you. We'll see ya. See you later, Laurel. All right.
You know, just coming behind everybody. How are you? Thank you so much for coming. Oh, it's going well. Like very nice. Senator, real quick, could we put this on you?
We're gaggling.
Was it on? Okay, so it's like it will be. Does it work that way? Here. Oh, where are you? Yeah, there you go.
Okay. All right, everybody wants to say anything. Come on up. Okay, so bottom line is everybody stand up here wants everybody to be safe. We all know the most important thing is your family. We all love our kids. We love our grandkids. Some of us don't have grandkids, but not yet. I have 7 of them. 5 live right here in the Tampa area. I want them all to be safe. You can rebuild anything. I was just up at Mexico Beach earlier today. That hit 6 years ago. You wouldn't even know it today. It's beautiful up there. And if you go to the Keys, when we got hit by Irma, it's beautiful today. But guess what? The people that lost their lives will never come back. Nobody wants anybody to lose their lives. So we got to take this seriously. Get a plan. Go to one of the websites, ready.gov, and there's others. Go there, make a plan, do it. Watch local weather, listen to law enforcement, listen to local elected, and then take action quickly. Don't wait. If you, where I live in Naples. Ian turned at the last, probably 5 or 6 hours, and by then there was tornadoes everywhere. So very few people were able to evacuate. And look at what it did to Fort Myers. Just devastated. I think over 150 people died, primarily in the Fort Myers area. So we want people to be safe. We're going to do everything we can, but you got to do your part. Anna, you want to add anything?
I was just going to say, we went down, saw some of the damage the first time, and obviously in Pinellas County, we do have those historical homes, so they're just not rated to the same way a newer home would be. So you really take those warnings seriously, because the way that these storms made these houses look was like popsicle sticks on the ground. So you got to be careful and take that seriously.
Laura?
Yeah, and just that now is the time. Once the season is upon us, it can be too late. Now is the time to get your plan in place, to get your supplies, to be ready. Always heed the warnings of local law enforcement, and know that if severe weather does strike, that all of us are here, along with your state and local government leaders, to help and make sure that you have the resources that you need to recover.
Also, you can go to pinellas.gov and get the list of everything that you need. Again, it's in Spanish and Vietnamese and in English, so be prepared.
Yeah, and use the state as a resource as well. Of course, we have the Division of Emergency Management that does great work. And so stay in touch with your state legislative delegation on how to be prepared as well, but always heed to the caution of the local officials when it comes to hurricane preparation, evacuation, and so forth.
Do it early.
Senator, you have written a letter to Deanne Criswell at FEMA. You're concerned about the funding.
Yeah.
Now, Democrats have come back and said you voted against FEMA funding though in the past, so you're being a little hypocritical here.
No, I'm not. I mean, when things are in a big package,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you don't get to what they do in the Senate. They don't let you vote on just one thing. They put it in some big ridiculous package. And as you know, we have almost $35 trillion worth of debt. The federal government needs to be a partner. All right, the federal government needs to be a partner with the FEMA. They need to be a partner with the Corps of Engineers, all these different agencies.
And I'll back the senator up on that. And that, locally we've had a massive issue with the Army Corps. The senator has been really helpful, but that's at the direction of federal, and that comes from Biden's administration. So, we don't want to ensure that your tax dollars are going to waste, which is exactly why we're so critical about how they've jumbled that together. And we're just not going to be suckered into voting for something bad, right, Rick?
Yep.
That you are concerned though that money right now, right? There's a deficit going into right now. I think it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's what's ridiculous. I'll tell you something else just as ridiculous. Historically, after a disaster, whatever disaster, hurricane, wildfire, whatever, we always get a tax reduction, but not this one. Democrats won't do it. I can't get Schumer to bring it up for a vote. So we're one of the few places that hasn't gotten help because it's just pure politics. All of us have been fighting for it. But you guys got to pass out of the House, but we can't get Schumer to vote on it.
Senator, would you encourage former President Trump to choose Marco Rubio to be his vice presidential nominee?
I think Marco would be a great choice. There's a lot of good Republicans. Marco would be a great choice. It'd be good for Florida. I think it'd be good for Trump.
Senator, you're running for the leadership in the GOP. Talk about that a little bit.
Yep, I'm running to be the Republican leader, hopefully the majority leader. Hopefully we'll win the House, the Senate, and the White House where we can get big changes made. But we got to have a change. We have almost $35 trillion worth of debt. We got inflation that's first time since the 1980s where our foreign policy is a disaster. So we've got to have a big change. I'm a turnaround guy. That's what I did in business. So that's why I'm running. We were able to turn the state around, not by one person, but by a lot of us here that were in the legislature at the time. We worked together. We need to do the same thing at the federal level.
So John Thune and John...
John Cornyn and John Thune.
Right, yeah. So you can do it?
Yes, I believe so. We're going to work hard every day.
Right.
Senator, last month we spoke. You called on the SSA commissioner demanding answers about special needs trust funds.
That doesn't make you mad.
Does it make you mad?
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine people that have an injury and they put money into a fund and they think the money's going to be there when they need it and then somebody steals it? So yeah, we're trying to get the Social Security Administration to do their part, and this person needs to be held accountable, and we're going to keep working to get the Social Security Administration to do their part.
So a few days ago, the SSA commissioner responded. This is his response. Is this answer adequate?
No, not until the Social Security Administration does their job to make sure this person's held accountable and do whatever they can to make sure this money comes back as possible.
The commissioner is saying that it's regulated by the state. So are you going to propose legislation to make sure that this is regulated?
Well, I know the state's looking at this, and I don't get to get legislation. I know that we've got state reps and state senator that know this is an important issue. So we got to figure out how do we make sure that doesn't happen again. And again, it's not just we don't want it to happen again. We got to figure out how do we make sure that we recover as much of the resources as we can.
And we're talking about so many Floridians that have been affected. What would you say to them?
I mean, your heart goes out to them. I mean, these are people that they had something horrible happen to them in their life. This was going to be the way that they could provide for themselves, and somebody took advantage of them. It's despicable. I mean, I don't know why anybody wasn't. There's plenty of ways to make money in life. You don't have to go do things where you take advantage of people.
Regardless of what the jury decides up in New York with former President Trump, would you respect that jury's finding and consider it a legitimate verdict?
Well, I'll always respect any jury, but this is just political persecution. I mean, and today was even an example. Today, the Biden administration had a campaign event at the courthouse. I mean, how ridiculous! It shows you. So think about what they did. They took the number three person out of the Department of Justice. Now, do you realize how hard it is to get that job? They sent the number three person down there to prosecute Trump. The judge's daughter's a big fundraiser for Biden and Harris and other Democrats. The lead prosecutor's wife is a big donor. I mean, this smells horrible. So this is if they can do it to a ex-president, they can do it to anybody here. That's wrong.
Rep. Luna, you went to the trial a couple weeks ago, right? And I know Senator Scott, you're the first lawmaker to go up there. Talk about your experiences up there.
Look, the president's in good spirits, but exactly like Senator Scott had stated, there is a lot of political smoke here, and we know that it is political targeting. The fact is that the judge's daughter, as Senator Scott had said, is fundraising, not just for Biden-Harris, but also for many of the Democrats that are consistently trying to go after President Trump on House Oversight, of which is one of the committees that I sit on. Not to mention, you had them saying that people couldn't go there to show support. They're keeping everything closed. I know that it's been common for New York to keep it closed to the press, but I don't think that we as elected officials have any more right to be there than the average American person or even members of the press. And so I think that they should open it up if it is something so honest.
You couldn't even talk in the courthouse.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, you can't. You can't talk in the courthouse. And they also too, they were trying to put other gag orders on other members. Going after the president. We even talked to some of his attorneys leading up to it. So the fact is that this is a political witch hunt. But I think the American people see that, which is exactly why you're seeing the surge with Hispanic and Black voters, independents, and women.
So when I went up there, before that, the press was able to take live pictures in the courtroom. After that, they couldn't. I mean, what this judge has done, this is just pure political theater. This is the guy that is the number one opponent of the president, and the president's using all the power of the presidency to go after this guy and try to put him in jail, gag him, don't let him talk.
Well, and the other thing not to forget is that, this is a case in New York that was predicated upon a bunch of misdemeanors for which the statute of limitation has applied. It is not a legitimate cause of action. It hasn't been since inception. The judge's rulings time and again have let evidence in for the prosecution that didn't belong, kept the President Trump's defense out. This entire prosecution should not be happening and is very clearly been something that is politically motivated. And I will say, as a former prosecutor and judge, it is a travesty that our system of justice is being manipulated and politicized in this way.
Is it possible to respect a verdict if you don't respect the case? I mean, clearly there's two different messages here. One is the case is illegitimate. On the other hand, you say you respect the verdict.
I think you got to do everything you can to respect our judicial system. But you can also look at this and say this is pure political theater. I mean, it's just like, it's like when they go after people just because they disagree with them. That's not, that's not the way our country is set up. I mean, we're supposed to be all treated the same under the law. They shouldn't be pick on you because you're this or pick on you because you said that. That's wrong.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Congressman, Congressman, hi. Sorry. I don't know if you saw about the national